Welcome back to Extra Shot, the podcast about the funniest stories in sport this week. On the show today, Luis Suarez bites again.
Apparently it was written into his contract at Barca, like no biting.
Gaffers on the piss in Wetherspoons.
2 for £12 jug of woo-woo and a burger. And
Playing the Aztec gold footy. And Rory McIlroy's brutal dumping of his fiancée. Oh, I want a fucking divorce! My name's Jack. Got Zach and JP here, as ever.
Hello.
All right, fellas, how are we?
Yeah, good, thank you. How you doing?
Yeah, good. I'm a bit jealous today. I didn't get told about it. It was going to be Fruity Shirt Day. So.
It's always fruity shirt.
Yeah.
We're later on. We're doing a Gary and Wayne Lineker special, and I've got my Ocean Beach shirt on.
Yeah, you're looking very Ocean Beach Club. Yeah,
I try.
Bottle of Grey Goose under
Actually,
the arm.
you got your Stody on.
Yeah,
That's pretty Ocean Beach.
You know,
as well.
I was expecting JP to come in one of those thong bikinis with like platform, high-heeled sandals,
Orange cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
the whole look. Yeah, so I think this is coming out in May. The Gary and Wayne Lineker episode, because it'll be Gary's last match of the day, and very much the start of Wayne's time of year.
Do you think that now Gary's off match of the day, Wayne is really going to take centre stage now?
I almost feel like he's centre stage now. Anyway,
Yeah, I
isn't
think
he?
that's happened.
Yeah.
Already.
Like one of the most selfied mans on the planet, but men
True,
on the
he
planet.
was saying he says he takes 500 to 600 every day.
Selfies
Selfies
with fans.
yeah.
Or just himself.
I mean,
That is
takes
500,
about 4 selfies a day with fans.
500 to 600 selfies. That's bleak.
It's a lot. But like he walks into Ocean Beach and he is getting absolutely mobbed.
Yeah.
Like he's like God there, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, obviously we'll talk about it in the episode, so
Yes.
don't want to do too many spoilers. But his life he's got a fun story.
Yeah.
And so does Gary. Actually, we're calling them naughty and nice, but there's a little bit of naughty from Gary too. Anyway, you have to wait till May for that one. How you guys doing otherwise?
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good.
I was just, before we came on, I just saw this clip of Luis Suarez, who I guess people had sort of thought he was playing in Uruguay or some shit, but he's at Inter Miami with Messi and Busquets. It's a bit of like there are like sort of 5 Barca players there and then a bunch of like American sort of roster players. And Inter Miami were playing LAFC, their hated rivals, it was the CONCACAF Champions League, like a quarterfinal, and there was like a big tussle between all of them. And got a clip of it here I'll link to. But they're all like in a sort of, tussle, the two sides. And a hand comes near Luis Suarez's mouth and he fucking bites it. And best of all, the hand, here we go, the hand belongs to Jordi Alba, his teammate and like good friend. So Alba, I guess he just sees the hand and assumes it's an opponent and just being Luis Suarez.
It's just like instinctive. You can see as soon as he feels the touch.
It's worth watching in slow-mo. We'll link to it.
He's like, I'm going to do it. Oh, fuck. No,
As he's
teammate.
biting, he looks down and just sees Jordi Alba like squealing.
Have you seen the T-shirts that were available online, which is like it's a white T-shirt with a bite mark on the side of the shoulder and it says Suarez was here.
That's great, yeah. It's got like, I'd say the Jordi Alba one, it's more of like we're looking at the T-shirts now. That's great.
Try and get one.
Yeah, because that Suarez was here one, I guess, is an homage to the bite on Branislav Ivanovic. Got a picture of it. It's a proper meaty bite, that one, wasn't it?
Well, there was that one and Cellini in the 2014 World Cup, which was possibly worse because Cellini's, that's where the T-shirt was from, I guess. Cause
you're right, yeah.
The top actually had a bite mark through it.
But this one's, the Ivanovic one, I think, is the iconic one because it's so unsubtle. It's just like grabbed
I'm pretty sure he did another one before that as well. There was one from
Spain,
I think in Ajax. I think he bit someone as well.
Yeah,
it's a deep psychological problem that he has.
But like Cantona had the kung fu kick, as we talked about. He actually did loads of kung fu kicks, and Suarez had the bite.
Suarez had his bite. Yeah, apparently it was written into his contract. Was it Barca? Like no biting.
2-year-old.
200 grand a week, no biting. Behave yourself.
Goal bonus, no biting bonus. Surely it's in your contract. Just, do you need that to be in contract? It's like in the law, isn't it? Just don't bite. He's a weird character, Suarez, because he's like so vicious with the biting on the pitch, but then he's also got like a slightly sweet side, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Will get like, he'll cry a lot, and I think we talked about this on the pod last year. like the Uruguay team all fell out with Marcelo Bielsa, and Suarez called a team meeting and pleaded with Bielsa to just say good morning to us every day.
A lot of those players like that have like the good and the bad side. Like, you know, you're talking about Cantona just then, right? You know, they can be unbelievably soft and then just absolutely fucking mental as well.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those that if he's on your team, then you love him.
Yeah, he's our cunt.
Unless he's about to bite you.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Unless you put your hand in his fucking mouth.
which does go slightly too far. Do you remember when he had the whole racism thing with Patrice Evra? And then do you remember that the game after, the Liverpool players all came out for their warm up in we stand with you, Lewis t-shirts. Yeah,
Jesus.
Also, it's like he did
do
that shit.
Yeah.
and then refused to shake Evra's hand.
He reminds me of like the kid at school who would cry in every match. He was fucking good, but would always cry.
Yeah.
It's just like he's just very emotional. But biting is a weird one. Have you also ever seen that clip of Suarez? I think it was last year. It was his son's 10th birthday party. They had a football party, and he's just like banging in bicycle kicks and stuff, just taking it so seriously.
Pushing him out of the way.
Biting.
Yeah, did he bite a kid?
Yeah, he is mental. I guess he'll be playing in the World Club Cup.
The
Me and JP were saying on the week. I don't know if you remember this conversation, JP. You were quite drunk, but you were making a fool of yourself. We were thinking we could do a live. We should do some live streams for Patreon, and I was thinking we could do a live during a Club World Cup game because no one gives a fuck about the game.
Yeah.
What a live stream of one of the matches?
Yeah. We're talking.
Yeah.
Don't know what we're talking.
Monterrey against Al Shabaab.
Yeah, the biggie.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Naked.
Okay.
In a jacuzzi.
Maybe we could bring along Vitor Pereira, the Wolves boss. Did you see the clip of him at Spoons at the weekend after? So they beat Spurs, and he turned up at Wetherspoons about an hour after the game.
I fully rate this.
Yeah, we've got a clip here.
Yeah, outside the fruity.
Yeah, it's a great clip.
So what he's doing that quite a lot, isn't he?
Yeah, so apparently he's got a bit of a habit of going there after they win, and he on Saturday or Sunday, whenever it was, he was going around telling people first points, then pints. Yeah, which is quite good. I kind of feel like he's about to unveil one of those flags, you know, the get the badge in, get the bags in, get the slags in.
Oh yeah,
proper.
We've got a picture
of
it.
It's a whole flag.
Yeah.
It's quite. I quite like that. I saw an interview with him though. He was quite sort of like, it's important for me to. These people are my family now. I must understand them. It's like with a jug of woo woo, beer and a burger deal.
Understanding British culture, innit?
Yeah, to be fair.
Do you know what I mean? I saw. There's been a few players recently that have been in like a bit of a thing for Wetherspoons. Like Tonali, when he first joined Newcastle, he booked a table at Spoons, didn't he?
Yeah, because it has like 4.7 rating on Google reviews. It's just like a sick restaurant.
It is sick.
Got great fruity. I'm sure he enjoyed that.
Yeah, I reckon Vitor Pereira knows a thing or two about blending in with the locals though.
Yeah.
He's been around the block really. He's like managed like Porto, Olympiacos, Shanghai, Fenerbahce, Flamengo, like all over.
Is he a bit of a hump and dump manager?
I don't think he's. There was a story actually. I think we told it a few months ago about. I think it was 2022. He was managing Corinthians, and he suddenly, very very suddenly, quit and said he was like, "Yeah, sorry, I have to go back to Portugal. My mother-in-law is very sick. I need to care for her." And told the fans like, "Look, I'm not going to any club. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going back to care for my mother-in-law." She must have had a miraculous recovery because 3 weeks later he was unveiled as manager of Flamengo, their rivals.
Turncoat.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be frequenting too many bars in the Sao Paulo area.
They were like burning effigies and stuff.
Yeah, burning him in the favelas.
Yeah.
They tend to get quite angry about that.
Yeah.
I was sort of hoping Jurgen Klopp was going to do something like that when he left Liverpool.
Yeah.
Just like pop up at City.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of Vitor Pereira, wherever he goes, just like fitting in with the local culture. Just like at Olympiacos, he was sipping ouzo in the tavernas with the locals. And
Wetherspoons.
Wetherspoons, just 2 for £12 jug of woo woo and a burger. And
playing the Aztec gold
fruity.
fruity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess for the full Wetherspoons experience, he needs to be one of the guys who gets there at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Queues up.
I actually went. Don't ask why, but I was going in for 9 a.m. for a pint the other week, and they don't serve till 10.
Oh, so you were one of the guys
Yeah.
waiting.
Okay, so what you were just were you in for a pint or you in for breakfast?
Breakfast
Both.
and a pint.
Yeah.
Was this in
With
an
the boys,
airport?
right? With the boys.
Oi, oi.
Come on.
So you in an airport? Or?
No, I was going to Fabric.
Oh, right.
So I was having a
obviously
beer,
got to
yeah.
start with a
Yeah.
spoons fry up.
Yeah. Spoons for us.
Also, 10, I guess it's a license thing.
Yeah. It's
I
like
kind of think, what's the difference between 9 or 10? Like,
Yeah, and I thought pubs could open when they wanted, but obviously, like, as in, like, you could start serving at 6, but obviously, maybe like local areas have different licensing. I'm not too sure.
should we do a quick deep dive?
Let's do a
on
quick
licensing
deep dive.
law, actually,
Yeah.
I've got a fact
Spirits
about
and measures
Wetherspoons that's just come to mind. Did you know every single Wetherspoons in the country has an individual carpet that's that
really?
you
Yeah,
knew?
I did know that. Yeah.
And there's a book about it.
What's the library? Don't they all have libraries? Or
Do
something?
they?
Some tax exemption. Yeah, loads of them have like 6. Someone told me this. They have like 6 books in them because then you can count it as a library and you can like save a bit of tax. Or something.
Okay.
Really, yeah.
Sounds
It's
like
all
that.
like anti-EU.
That's what
Nigel
people
Farage's
want.
Nigel Farage's autobiography.
Or it's one of those bookshelves that's like fake books. Anyway, if you weren't in Wetherspoons at 9 a.m. on the weekend, then you might have been watching the Masters, which is probably the big sporting event of the weekend, the golf, where Rory McIlroy finally showed his killer instinct and got over the line. So he's been waiting like 11 years, I think it is, to complete the career Grand Slam when you win all the 4 majors. And he's had this like monkey on his back about it. A few times he's got really close and then just like completely crumbled under the pressure. But he did finally deliver, and it was a roller coaster. You guys,
It was amazing. I
Yeah.
thought it was incredible.
so I had £2 on Justin Rose, who was 160 to 1. There's a complete chance that I'd backed him. Backed a lot of people.
Did you back him? Sorry, did you back him over the weekend or before?
Before the tournament, I backed 10 golfers, £2 each.
Really?
And Justin Rose happened to be one of them. And then he got all the way to a playoff.
Yeah. Didn't he come? It was a Sunday. He really had a drive for it, right?
Yeah, well, his first day and last day were amazing, and he was shit in the middle.
Yeah.
So anyway, him and Rory went to a playoff. Actually, James Gregg, who's a regular guest on the Upshot Pod, he was commentating on the radio, so I was
He is
enjoying
excellent.
Greggy's dulcet tones. But anyway, it was this mad roller coaster, and it looked like Rory McIlroy was going to choke again. But there was one fan in the crowd at Augusta National who never doubted his ruthless streak, and that is his ex-fiancée, Caroline Wozniacki, the tennis player. Is she Danish?
Yeah.
Danish tennis player, who they were like a real sort of sporting power couple. You know, she was top tennis player at the time. She's very into her golf. Obviously, Rory, even back in 2013 when they were engaged, was a big name. And they were weeks away from their wedding day in 2013 when Rory fell asleep while they were together. And Caroline took a quick photo of him. It was quite unflattering. It's a picture of him like passed out on the bed with his mouth open. We're looking at it now. He's still got his glasses on. Quite unflattering. Yeah. She tweeted it with, she said, "Jet lag Rory McIlroy, question mark, lol." It's all quite sort of like sweet. And
He looks super geeky, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, bless him.
But anyway, it's all quite harmless.
It's a funny photo.
Although Rory didn't agree. So
Not to Rory.
according to the Irish Independent, who quoted his friends, Rory was very upset by it. And a few days later, he rang her and in a quick 3-minute phone call, broke off the marriage.
Jesus.
Wow.
Over a photo.
Over a photo. Yeah.
So are they now like,
I don't know,
okay?
she was in the crowd at the Masters and they were like, she did an interview that was just like, you know, fucking milquetoast, just like, oh, it's amazing seeing all these athletes at the top of their game. And I saw the tabloids trying to say that was a sly dig at Rory because the day she did it, he wasn't playing so well.
Yeah.
Basically being like, he's not at the top of this game. But I think she's just...
You definitely wouldn't want your ex-missus in the crowd if you were playing the best match, or playing the biggest match of your life.
It is weird that she was there, but I think she's a massive golf fan.
Yeah, I suppose
Yeah.
could he ban her from the golf course? Probably not.
Not really. But because he, just before the last Masters as well, did he not divorce his
I think
wife?
it was like a week before the Masters last year, where again, like all the build-up was like, is Rory going to finally do this? Pressure's on him, spotlight, and then a week before he told his wife he wanted a divorce and filed for it. Which, like, if you're trying
She'd get in the zone.
Well, so apparently, someone told me, and this is unconfirmed, that the reason he did it is he basically said to her, look, I can't focus on doing this Grand Slam and be a good husband to you. So like the only solution here is a divorce.
Wow.
And I think she was like,
is that gonna help you focus?
Yeah,
Really sure there's quite a lot of
he's a very intense guy, if you hadn't noticed already.
Yeah.
He's quite often, like sometimes you see him, like he'll lose a tournament and he comes out to do the interviews and he's just ripped his t-shirt in anger, cries a lot. And also for this Masters, his last round, he was playing with Bryson DeChambeau, who had previously pipped him to a title last year. And Bryson said he did not speak a single word to him all day. Not to be like a cunt, but just like, I don't want to be distracted. I kind of get
you.
that. Yeah.
There's some really good monologues of him like lobbing golf clubs on YouTube, just like out of like pure frustration, and him like snapping and shit like that.
He just
himself.
logs onto Instagram, sees a pic of himself. It's like, it's not my good side.
I want a fucking divorce.
I want a
divorce now.
I wonder if he'll chill out now he's done it.
Well, he's actually, I think, a pretty good guy. I've never massively warmed to him, but he's given his $4 million prize to charity.
Really?
Okay. And you know, his parents worked 100. His dad worked 100 hours a week. His mum worked as well to like pay for him to golf. His dad had 3 jobs.
Wow.
Like they've sacrificed a lot. So I think he's it is a nice story.
Do they not hope you might donate it to them?
Still up in the 2 up, like, 2 down.
Well, he's finally completed his Grand Slam. Like maybe he'll finally pay us back for that like 60-hour week that I used to work.
It's gone to the donkey sanctuary.
Fucking hell, Rory.
I think he sorted his parents out long ago.
You'd imagine so, wouldn't you?
But he's pretty intense. He's chucking out divorces and breakups left, right, and centre. It is weird that his ex was there.
Yeah. Has he got a new missus?
Yeah. Well, the one he tried to divorce last year.
Right.
But they've stayed together.
She wasn't having it.
Sorry, I don't know if I mentioned that, but he then a month later called off the divorce and was like, forget.
Oh, right.
Forget I mentioned that.
Bit of a roller coaster with our Rory, innit? Fucking hell.
It really is.
It was just for the Masters, yeah.
But that's his vibe. He's emotional.
Intense.
It's actually a bit reminiscent. We've talked about this guy before, Tyreek Hill. He's a NFL player. And he, among other things, there are many stories about Tyreek Hill, but last year he accidentally filed for divorce, he claimed. So 76 days after marrying this woman, he just entered documents in the local court saying he wanted a divorce. And then he retracted it and he blamed fucking boneheaded lawyers who he said misunderstood him when he complained about her. Because I think he was like, talking to his lawyer and he was probably like, I'm a divorce this bitch. And they were like, oh, you want a divorce? And just put the papers in. Bit like that manager last week when they got rid of the couch. Sorry, they got rid of the coach because he wanted to get rid of the purple couch.
Yeah. The Leeds boss.
When you're surrounded by yes men, I think they like act quickly.
Yeah. Speaking of fucking boneheads, it's hard to think that only 12 years ago, Joey Barton was being invited onto Question Time, discussing European policy with government ministers, going to Lucian Freud exhibitions and talking about Nietzsche with Guardian journalists.
That stuff all literally happened.
It happened in the space of 2 years. Yeah. There was,
he had a bit of a peak, didn't he?
Yeah.
Where everyone was like absolutely.
Was that when he was at Marseille and there was like the sweet and tender hooligan banner?
Yeah.
Him and Russell Brand were like mainstays on Question Time.
Yeah. Did you see the interview? I never saw this before, but did you see the interview that he did in French when he was like putting on the English French accent?
Yeah, so good. But I mean, he just like started quoting philosophers on Twitter and everyone was like, wow, he's a genius. It's like, you can get that off brainyquotes.com. Anyways, it's fair to say that Joey's hot takes aren't quite so revered these days. And like a lot of celebrity wrong-uns before him, it seems like Joey's gone down a bit of a conspiracy rabbit hole recently. It's the sort of thing where you start off by flicking on a YouTube documentary about the North Tower, and then next thing you think Alex Scott is fomenting a Bolshevik revolution, one episode of Match of the Day at a time. And Joey's latest theory is about the drop-off in form of Kevin De Bruyne, which people are talking about a lot. Most pundits are putting it down to the fact he's 33 now. He's suffered a lot with hamstring injuries over the last few years. Maybe Pep's tweaked his system a little bit. But Barton has an even more compelling theory behind KDB's decline, and that is his turkey teeth.
Again, De Bruyne, been a phenomenal player, arguably of his generation, the best midfielder in the Premier League.
Definitely in the conversation, isn't he?
Yeah, arguably the best player in the Premier League, but got the teeth done, got the turkey teeth in, fucking big mad quiff going on, and as is normal, when you get them teeth done, for any young players out there who come into a few shilling, when you get your teeth done, all right, your body compensates for your mouth. You sleep, you run, your body compensates for your mouth. You get the teeth done. As soon as you get your teeth done, it realigns your bite. Once you realign your bite, that starts to offset your spine and your spinal column and your spinal cord. And before you know it, like a dominoes, bip, 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 chain reaction goes down your spine into your soft tissue. Before you know it, body starts coming apart. Kevin De Bruyne's problem at Manchester City was getting his fucking teeth done. Every player I see get the teeth done. Within a short period of time, soft tissue injuries start happening further down the chain. They go, oh fucking hell, don't know what's happening here. I'll tell you what's happening. See them fucking stupid big teeth you've got put in your fucking grid that don't organically go there? That's what's fucked you up.
It is a real thing, by the way.
What, the turkey teeth injuries?
Proximal positional vertigo is what they call it.
From getting turkey teeth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't actually think this is
I
like.
I mean, I've got some
I
really fruity
take it all
opinions on
back.
back pain, so I'm kind of with him.
Yeah.
I can kind of understand the science
Okay, all right.
there.
Can I just point out one thing? Joey Barton has got the same haircut as Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's had his teeth done.
Yeah.
They're not the full-on turkey teeth.
Yeah, I mean, the quiff thing's like, I don't know why he brought the quiff into it. It's
Yeah,
obviously
that is
nothing to
got
do
the
with
same
quiff.
quiff.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Barton, where is he playing now?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, speaking from experience. Yeah, it is plausible.
Yeah, I kind of understand well, I don't understand the science behind it, but I understand the theory.
Yeah. That's all right. Gotta take it all back. Never mind. He's
Makes you think.
getting back on question time.
And while we're on it, jet fuel can't melt steel beams. It can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever seen that stand-up talking about 9/11? And he's like talking about the CIA, and he's like, okay, 9/11's all ready. We've planted the explosive. There's just one thing left. The clues. That's right. Got to leave them some clues. I don't know if I agree that Kevin De Bruyne's career has peaked because of having his teeth done.
Yeah, I think there's
even though I've
probably
got some
more.
fruity opinions on back pain, which I'll keep to myself.
You sure you don't want to go?
Yeah, I mean,
Didn't you read that? Didn't
yeah, I
you read
don't
that
know.
book?
I just think our understanding of pain is medieval.
Right.
A lot of pain is actually psychological and psychosomatic. You still feel the pain. That's not medical advice.
But
Am I going to be put on some fucking podcast?
I mean, Joey Barton will have you, I'm sure.
Yeah, great. Yeah, we got a lot in common.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne, do you think he's watching that thinking, fuck? I mean, the turkey teeth do look shite.
Yeah.
I didn't notice he had them done, but yeah, I suppose he's just getting old.
He had a glow up, though,
I
do you
think-
remember? He had sort of like 2 seasons as like, this guy's probably the best player in the league, sort of just around COVID, just after. And then he suddenly like got the trendy haircut.
Yeah.
He did have a bit of a glow up because he's fundamentally a nerd, Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Right? He was DMing his wife on Twitter for like months before he had the courage to meet her.
Really?
Yeah, he's like a nervous nerd.
Yeah. Everyone says in the changing room he's like proper timid and
Yeah,
you
which
know,
I like about him.
yeah, yeah.
Have you seen there's a picture of him in a nightclub from when he's about 18, I want to say, surrounded by girls, and he captioned it, "Hoes before bros." It looks like, you know, that meme of the guy shouting in a girl's ear.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Wait,
so-
is that actually
Yeah,
the
that's
actual
it.
image?
He actually posted that. Yeah.
Is Joey Barton now like a conspiracy theorist? Like I know he hates.
Yeah, I don't know. I
women.
think he's got his podcast, doesn't he?
Why is it that you go from like cancelled, you know, like once you do that, then you get into just all the other shit. It's like I guess you lose faith in like
normal
the norms
society?
of polite society because they hate you.
Yeah.
And also the people who like you are quite out there already.
Yeah.
And they radicalise you. It's like how we now talk about piss trolls every week.
Yeah.
It started as
We've been radicalised.
This podcast started as a sports podcast, and now we talk about like sex dolls and piss
And
trolls.
horses that can do maths.
Yeah, because the audience radicalises you. Is that what's happened to Joey, basically?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I now go to bed with a tinfoil hat on. I'm so
Since
paranoid.
doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Does that
Since
put you
knowing
off getting your
two.
teeth done? Also, isn't turkey teeth mainly about the colour?
Well, no, it's shape and colour because they take. It's disgusting, isn't it? They take all of your teeth down to like a small ground and then like plug in. All
Yeah,
Have you seen the Katie Price
fake
pics?
Katie Price pictures.
Mid-op.
No.
Look,
Oh my god!
So she posted a picture middle of the process where she's just got pegs because they grind your. I think they've actually got a new method where they don't do this, but they grind your teeth down.
Imagine doing that to your teeth.
She looks like something out of the League of Gentlemen or something. Like, yeah,
She looks
morph into a
It
fish.
looks like a horror movie character, doesn't it?
Yeah.
She's just got these like sharp
And
stubs.
still
You won't kick her out of bed
for
for farting.
the teenage me.
She tick a lot of boxes, Jack. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pegs. At least, do you know what? At least she's not getting any back pain.
Yeah.
Actually, she probably is once the teeth are done, according to Joey.
I reckon that's not the only thing causing her back pain, to be honest.
But have you also seen what her teeth look like post-op? They're like fluorescent.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes people go for like,
Yeah, look now, like that, because it's almost like they're all one level. It's like they're just like a gum shield. There's no lines between the teeth. It's just like,
what is society doing, man? It just looks fucking terrible.
It's a weird move. Although, anyway, I would say Katie, despite getting the turkey teeth, she is still at the top of her game. She's worn many hats for someone. She's only 46. Would you have guessed that?
I thought she was maybe a little bit
Maybe a bit older.
Yeah, but she, in those 46 years, she has worn many hats. She's been a grid girl, glamour model, horse rider, mum, actress.
Bankrupt.
Yeah. And soon she will be collecting a Nobel Prize because Katie Price has possibly just found the Holy Grail, a cure for cancer. That is according to a tweet she made last week to her followers about her, quote, very serious chat with Anthony Fowler, who he was an Olympic boxer. He's actually Robbie Fowler's cousin. And Anthony Fowler basically told her that his 2-year-old daughter had this tumour, and Katie Price seems to suggest that he cured it with CBD. So she said, very serious chat with Anthony Fowler and his wife about that 2-year-old daughter who had a tumour in her leg. They refused hospital treatment and healed her themselves, which is amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah.
They were telling me all about @Supreme CBD and how it works. I get people thanking me every day for posting this. I asked Supreme CBD for a code to save you money. Use code KT40 at checkout to get 40% off your orders.
That is really nice of Supreme CBD.
Yeah,
to give her
CBD.
the,
It's just
to
like,
give her the code,
firstly
yeah.
they saved this child's life, and then they've given everyone a code.
Hashtag Supreme CBD. Hashtag ad.
Yeah. In case you didn't realise it was that. So then I looked at Anthony Fowler's profile, and he explained in more detail. So it wasn't actually cancer, but it was a tumour, and the hospital told them to, do chemo and other stuff, but he said, instead, we cooked nothing but organic food twice a day, we filtered all her water, we gave her @Supreme CBD twice a day, and it all paid off. www.supremecbd.uk. So, I mean, obviously, good news that his daughter was healed.
Yeah.
I'm not totally convinced it was the organic food. And
Do you have to turn
it into a fucking
your
grift?
daughter recovering from a tumour into an advert?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
seriously
pretty
depressing.
sure that there's no evidence that CBD
Gummies.
gummies will
Cure.
shrink a
Maybe
tumour.
it will stop pain.
Anthony Fowler, I should point out at this point, is of course the founder of a little known company called Supreme CBD. So he's just hawking. And to be fair, like if you're on sort of football Twitter, you've probably encountered some washed up former pros plugging it as well. Because even on that tweet there were replies from Ricky Hatton, Matt Letizia, Paul Merson and Mark Crossley, all of whom just said like, wow, thumbs up. And all of whom happen to be offering a personal discount code for Supreme CBD.
There's been a government
Yeah, they got
inquiry
wrapped,
into
didn't they?
Supreme CBD. It's like a fucking pyramid scheme.
Why is
Yeah,
it
it's-
a pyramid scheme or is it just snake oil?
Snake oil, maybe just they've got a load of like washed up footballers trying to.
Code Upshot 10.
Yeah.
Guy I know used to go out with Mark Crossley's daughter, and I think it was when they were at uni, and it was his 21st birthday, and went round to their house. And for his birthday, Mark Crossley gave him a signed picture of Mark Crossley.
That's fucking great.
So good. Signed picture of your dad-in-law.
I always thought Mark Crossley was quite sort of like down to earth.
Yeah, straight.
Comes across quite well, but
Yeah.
I mean, this is mad. All the celebs plugging it have something in common. So the other names I spotted: Jodie Marsh, Dean Windass, Kerry Katona, Lee Trundle, David Cottrell, Chris Kirkland. Sort of like people who used to go on Loose Women, but are now probably not welcome due to their views on like
CBD gummies.
CBD gummies and 9/11.
Yeah.
Supreme CBD did actually get in trouble for sharing ads like this in the past.
Yeah, I'm not
Also
surprised.
noticed they've clearly got this strategy of getting all the celebs to reply. So like here's Jodie Marsh plugging it, and then if you look in the replies, we actually don't need to watch the video, but in the replies, keep going then. You got like Supreme CBD, wow, what a video, wow, Paul Merson, it works, Kerry Katona, green heart, Chris Kirkland, brilliant, it's helped you, Anthony Fowler, love that, Kerry Katona clapping, Anthony Fowler clapping, Paul Merson, brilliant video. Like there's some sort of like extremely fake reply game going on.
Surely be a bit more original with the replies.
Yeah, but I think it's just some like social media intern who's got
Right.
logins to Chris Kirkland, got the keys to the castle. Like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
How much do you reckon they're getting paid for that?
Don't know, but all of them do these tweets.
And
where
what is
they're
the
like,
context?
I use this. Yeah, I
How
use
much?
this every day, and it works really well for me. And buy it. It's like you're just being paid.
Yeah, but do you think the general public just buy into that?
I think
Do you
it's
think it
working
works?
for
Yeah.
old Ant Fowler.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty weird. Jodie Marsh, I guess not a total shock to see her getting involved.
Jodie, yeah.
Used to again when I was a teenager, I used to really fancy Jodie.
You've got a little thing going here, haven't you,
Yeah,
Jack?
but have you seen the pic of Jodie Marsh doing bodybuilding?
Does that get you off?
Look at that.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's mad. Do you remember that?
Why is she boss-eyed?
Yeah, she's
She's crazy.
she's ripped.
It's like me and Marbs.
That is. She looks
How
like
long would it
looks like
take-
she's made of bronze.
Yeah, how long would it take me to get that ripped?
In your current
Do you have to
state,
eat like 12 eggs a day and stuff?
yeah, 12 eggs a day, loads of steak,
Bit of Supreme CBD.
bit of Supreme CBD,
Yeah.
less podcasting.
Yeah. What do you think? This is the mic's good for the arm muscle?
No, I think you need to start pumping
Yeah,
properly.
less pod, more bod.
Maybe if you get big enough, you'll get asked to do one of those body transformation things.
What when you see like
At
adverts on the
30 day.
tube, just like before and after.
This is the loser, and look what he's become.
Just me with like Dean Windass and Paul Mercer.
Yeah, and then you can join. Then you can officially join High Performance and do some analysis.
Yeah. I saw. On the other sort of end of the spectrum, you got Jake Humphrey, and I saw he did an interview. No, he did a LinkedIn post, of course, this week, and he said, "Every day before I drop my kids off at school, I say the same 6 words to them: be the light in the room." Fuck off.
I wish you'd say that before we start the pod.
Well, instead of having a go at you being late,
Yeah, I was a bit late today. I'm a bit scared.
up your game today, boys. That's what I normally say.
Yeah.
Be the light in the
Either
room.
like, oh, God, can you imagine him being a dad?
Yeah.
Do you think it's annoying or they just completely subscribe to his bullshit?
That's all they know.
Yeah, but I reckon you rebel against that.
Yeah, once you get to school, you find out Father Christmas isn't real.
Yeah.
You realise your dad's a bellend.
Yeah. Your dad's giving you KPIs. You're
Yeah.
just like, fuck off, mate.
Anyway, I tell you what definitely does cure cancer: Manscaped. Use code UPSHOT. Yeah, it's time to talk about Manscaped again. We haven't in a few weeks.
No.
Had a few complaints about the lack of Manscaped ads. You've been using either of you?
I have, but I lost the charger for a bit, but my missus just found it, so I'll do a before and after tonight for you.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Great.
Put it in the dungeon if you want.
Yeah, on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Just
Mm.
pick of what you
Yeah.
could just sort of like pull your jeans down a bit, like
Yeah. Or maybe we could get a subscriber to do it for me.
what to
One of
to
the
Manscaped.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the £100 a month tier. You can come and trim JP every month.
What, so it's £50 for a pegging and £100 to shave my balls?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I mean, you can set the prices if you want. I
Yeah.
just want to see it happen.
I
I
think-
just want to promote Manscaped.
I think because the thing is they get a memento to take home, really, don't they?
So what do they get?
A
My
plastic
bag?
bag full of,
It's
full
all
of clipped hair.
Put it on a chain like a little
locket,
clip. A
yeah.
locket.
Just have it one of those like yeah.
Instead of a lock of his hair, it's just loads of really short filings.
I'll
Yeah.
keep it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Manscaped, baby. It's time to talk about personal grooming. It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good. I do love the feel.
Mm.
Straight after.
Yeah, or even like a few
Bit-
days after.
Oh, what's it? Well, it starts to get a bit bristly.
Yeah, I quite like that though, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not a hazard of using the product, is it? No.
Well, it just makes you
It's
go
like-
back for more, doesn't it?
Whether you're suiting up for a big meeting, gearing up for a date, or just tackling the day, The right tools make all the difference. I wouldn't use it when you're gearing up. Take care of your skin and skip the cuts and irritation. Meet the Beard and Balls bundle from Manscaped. Yes, they've got a beard trimmer, which I got a bit overzealous with last week, and I accidentally...
I did notice that.
yeah.
What happened to
Didn't
your...
say anything to me on Saturday, did you?
What the fuck happened to your tash?
Yeah, I got a bit overzealous with the Beard and Balls bundle, and I did the moustache really short. So
did
I've
you
now got
balls you ballsed your
I
moustache?
ballsed my moustache and I bearded my balls. So I look like an Amish man because I've got a beard but no
Yeah, but
moustache.
mate, why didn't you just do the rest of your beard the same fucking length as your tash?
Because then it would be really short, and then I'd be back to not having a beard, and then I've
Yeah,
got a
but
weak
now-
chin that I need to
But now you're out of sync.
yeah, I am, but it'll get a bit longer, and then I'll come down.
I thought maybe it was like a vibe you were going
Weird.
for. I didn't want to say
spent
anything.
a lot of time with you on Saturday, and you didn't mention that.
I was too drunk.
You were making a fool of yourself.
You didn't make a similar mistake downstairs.
He's got a runway.
Yeah.
I've got really hairy above, and then just completely clean shaven below. Not even like a landing strip, just like a fucking bush
Yeah.
above. It's the Amish cock, I call it, and then just completely shaven.
Down your ass and your gooch, but just left the
Yeah.
top bit.
Sort of like when you're walking through the forest and then you find a clearing.
A woodland glade. Yeah, kind of like that. That's what I'm thinking for spring. That's my spring look.
Spring
And then for summer, I'll take the rest off.
Right,
Go
yeah.
bald.
Yeah.
You have to for summer. Yeah, so you can also get my look if you'd like. Don't cut corners on your grooming routine. Get an Amish beard when you upgrade to the Beard and Balls bundle from Manscaped. So manscaped.com. The code is UPSHOT and you get 20% off plus free shipping. I do think we are in the time of year now where
Yeah, you
It's
want to get
necessary,
it.
yeah.
in the winter, yeah, fine. You do your weird Amish look.
In
But
the winter, it's maybe good to keep things a bit warm and
Bit
insulated.
warm.
Yeah, but
now
once
that, now that summer's coming,
once you're seeing people putting chipolatas on a barbecue in the park,
Yeah,
it's time
Ocean
to put
Beach
your
time.
chipolata on a grooming regime.
Yeah,
And I'm riffing here.
and cook that shit
Yeah,
up.
cook that fucking cock. And yeah, just sort your pubes out, would
Yeah.
you please?
yeah,
Because people are swimming.
we
now.
don't want to see that on the beach.
No,
Or you swam in the River Thames on the weekend, JP.
I
thought it
did,
was quite
yeah.
brave.
why?
Any sickness?
No, fine.
Head under?
Whereabouts?
Uh,
Central?
in Henley on Thames.
Okay.
It was like,
Yeah,
we're
but
not
still, it's
talking-
pretty
we're not-
murky
We're not
water.
talking like fucking Greenwich.
No.
I don't
Yeah,
know
you
why
want to be
Greenwich
at the
feels-
West End, don't you?
Yeah.
Closer to
like
source. But I mean,
Margaret's.
it didn't look that clean. Did you put your head under?
Like I jumped in and then went under, but just didn't breathe. You wouldn't want to swallow that water, but it kind of just.
Is
doesn't
it
look
because like
too
so when you go
dirty.
up, it's like nice and blue or green, whereas Central it's like brown.
It looked
Brown,
the same
yeah.
colour as Central.
Yeah.
I was there.
Really?
I was taking an E. coli reading.
Didn't they almost had to postpone the boat race because there was E. coli in
really?
the water? Yeah, too
Why?
much.
Because they
Well,
jumped
Because
in?
JP shat upstream.
Upstream. It was the day
They were
before.
just about to start and it's just turned, just floated by
Just chat. No, there's.
in a cloud of freshly trimmed pubes.
I don't want to go to tinfoil hat brigade with this, but it's the water companies because they're not because of like the heavy rain and stuff. They haven't got the drainage. There's loads of sewage going into the Thames.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
like
I think that's true, isn't it?
that is kind of true.
But it didn't bother you.
No, I'll just
In
fucking
you
get
hopped.
in, mate. Get the badge in and get in. Do you know what I mean?
The Henley piss troll.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, manscaped.com, code UPSHOT, 20% off. Sort out your pubes.
Yeah. All right. I think it's time for something a little bit more wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
So last week we told you about the horse that could do maths. And this week on Animals Do the Darndest Things, I've got a story for you about a little brown mouse. And this is not just any mouse. This is a lab mouse at Wren University. And, you know, for a lab mouse there, life is nasty, brutish and short. They spend their days locked away in cages, peering out through the bars, watching these twisted scientists plot how to grow human ears on their back or insert vials of smallpox up their rectums. And, you know, the time they decided to test heroin on them helped, but it's been a rough ride since then. And there was one final kick in the teeth earlier this year when scientists decided to transplant the feces of elite athletes into mice.
Why the fuck?
Well, it's you might
Science,
ask.
bro.
So this was a genuine experiment. Took place at Rennes University. Scientist called Frederic Debray.
So we're in France.
We're in France. Obviously.
They love putting
they-
stuff on the bum. Don't they?
Yeah, I don't think it came up the bum or if it was
Oh,
they were
yeah.
cut open. So basically, they wanted to see whether the gut microbiota of top athletes would positively affect the athletic performance or health of these mice. It's a weird experiment.
Did it?
No,
Oh, so there's no impact.
no, it didn't improve their exercise capacity anyway.
How did the mice inject? Was it injected or was it taken by
I
the mouth? Or
Don't know the details.
Probably
Yeah, was it
into
like a
the gut.
human
do you
centipede?
reckon
So they-
directly into the gut?
Yeah, I guess.
So what would you do? Like take a bit of shit off a needle and then like plug it.
Plug
in?
it in.
Whose shit were they using?
I
Athletes.
mean that's the thing. You could really draw the short straw
Mm.
with this
Yeah.
if you're one of those mice. They were lined up in their cages. One of them's getting fed. Eddie Hall, the world's strongest man, the one who eats 10,000 calories a day, mostly raw steaks. Some poor mouse is getting shoveled down his throat, and the other one's got
Ronaldo's perfect
Ronaldo's,
poo.
yeah,
Usain
Katrina
Bolt.
Johnson Thompson
Comes
Usain
out like a little
Bolt.
fucking rabbit shit.
Yeah,
or
no,
something.
that was quite nice, really.
I'd eat
in the
Ronaldo's
scheme
poo.
of things. Yeah, it's all just fish and kale. Isn't it? Yeah. So
Yeah, you want
weird
choose
experiment. One other scientist who sort of peer reviewed this study said it was a long-winded way of showing that doing exercise is good for you, but having a better diet is a much less invasive way of doing this than fecal transplants.
No shit, Sherlock.
carefully. Well, 'cause
Yeah.
were they thinking, well, if this works with mice, then maybe we start eating.
we start feeding
on our own shit.
That's
Yeah.
how I'll get ripped. I'll eat Eddie Hall's shit.
You go, Jack.
Just human centipede me to Eddie Hall for like a month, and I'll come out just ripped.
Yeah, I don't know. Mice have been through a lot at Rennes University, but I think this is really...
I mean, I get it when we're developing a drug that we might need, but this feels gratuitous punishment for the poor mouse.
Poor bastards.
Putting shit. in
Yeah.
it.
Also, the fact it just proved if you have a good diet, then you will be better.
But does that mean it did work?
No, no. The study they didn't show. I think they maybe showed like a increased level of
Shit.
not biodiverse.
Yeah.
You can tell I've not done science for
Gut microbiome
couple of
diversity.
decades.
Yeah, it's all the rage now,
Um,
isn't it?
yeah. The gut diversity I think improved, but
Do you
their
think if you're-
exercise capacity did not.
If you're a mouse, do you think you'd rather
um,
be doing that than having like an ear growing on your back? Why do they
Yeah,
do that
true.
ear thing?
Yeah.
Wasn't it so?
Well, so that they can then it's like a way
So
to
they can
grow
hear.
them so they can then transplant them onto humans.
I
yeah.
can't
Something
imagine.
But
like the
I'm sure
mice
now you
feeds.
can grow
Anything on a mouse.
don't they grow organs? I don't know if you need a mouse.
You wouldn't want like a lung
like-
growing off a
I
fucking
think
mouse, would
this
you?
podcast is
Yeah.
going to have to come with a warning at the beginning. Some scientific claims made in this episode. Throughout the episode, a number of spurious scientific claims.
Manscaped does not cure cancer.
Don't think we'll be monetizing this one on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a weird experiment, and
Yeah.
our thoughts are with the mice.
Yeah.
Really.
Stick to Supreme CBD is probably the advice.
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
inadvertently marketing?
Yes, I think you are.
Right. Well, I think it's complete bollocks. So that helps. Okay, we are going to go over to Tuchel's Dungeon now, the Upshots Patreon, where we'll be talking about a lot of different things. Among them, I have got a very good, unsubstantiated bit of gossip about Wayne Rooney. So join us in there, patreon.com/Upshot Towers. It's just £3 British. You can become a member. Otherwise, we will see you on Tuesday when we are getting into the life of the fruitiest man in boxing, Chris Eubank. We'll see you then. Thanks a lot for listening.
See you in the dungeon.
1 to 3 2.
Goodbye.